Time now for Honda's starting goalies. For the Flyers, Ray Emery. Third start in the 8 games since Christmas. He won both of the prior ones, relieved yesterday. Henrik Lundqvist, the mainstay. 7th start in 8 games, and during that time, only one 60-minute loss. 1 month and 1 day away. The Olympics, and Rick Nash will represent Canada. He'll be playing against teammate Matt Zuccarello for Norway that day in Sochi. Claude Giroux, birthday 26, leading Philadelphia in playmaking and point getting, takes the opening draw, and we are underway with Ryan McDonagh playing it ahead. Screen back down, and Giroux goes patrolling there with Derek Stepan. Stepan, a Team USA Olympian. Around this one comes to be hoisted on back to Girardi, and his shot. This block comes back to him again. Girardi fed it across. Stepan, a shot, getting a piece of it. Emery, it was flying wide, caught the glass, and Girardi retreats to play. And the first shift change, just 25 seconds in. Kreider tapped that one in and came obediently to the bench. Nicholas Grossman reverses that one along. Mark Streit to play it there. Then back ahead for the control back out again by Ty McGinn. This one forced back in, and dropping back for it is Michael Del Zotto. Checked off there by Couturier. McGinn blocked that one down. Sent on across and retrieved and outletted on by Hagelin. Carried right back up by Ryan Callahan, trying to force his way by. Just gently wedged right off and then plastered to the glass by Grossman. Puck kicked right in on goal, and Ray Emery holds on there.
Tonight's goalie matchup is presented by
Craig Berube made a simple change, it seemed. Scott Hartnell was a part of that top line with Jacob Voracek and also the captain of the team, Claude Giroux. And so up to that line came Michael Raffl. And moving on back 2 lines was Hartnell. And Hartnell has done nothing more than get 9 points in 9 games. And Berube looks again like a genius. Around to the front, this one is poked away to the corner. I know, Pierre, you have charted chapter and verse on this ever since Berube took over.
Level of communication, commitment to the game. Practices have been harder. Players are in better shape. They're buying into the roles that he's created. Sean Couturier has thrived. So has Scotty Hartnell. But the biggest thing is putting an unknown like Michael Raffl on the first line with Giroux and Voracek, and it's really helped. Raffl's one of the most underrated passers in the NHL today.
We will see him playing for the Austrian team at the Olympics and watch him in uniform number 12 tonight. This one comes on to Hartnell. Couldn't push it on through Anton Stralman. Locked up around behind, and it can be controlled further. They want to work the point with it. Can't do it just now. Carried back up by Pouliot. Led on the wing to Zuccarello. Zuccarello flips one. Oh, and that one went up high. Caught the glass, and Hartnell strides back after it. Good body position by Stralman there. Rifled back out again by Stahl. But then it kicked on across and retrieved by Wayne Simmons.
You can see the Rangers, the way they're trying to push the pace stop with those stretch passes.
This carried right back over by Dan Carcillo, and that one blocked down. Carcillo, the ex-Flyer, sees this one turned into him by Braden Shen. Carcillo threw one in front, and it careened all the way back to Del Zotto, and his shot rattled off 2 sets of wickets, won a team. And it is Grossman able to hoist this one back out and off a glove down. Long toss ahead. Brian Boyle brings it on. The big man saw that one waffle boarded away by Emery, taken along by Dominic Moore, and he's checked off. Jam play!
That's 4th line against 4th line. Carcillo spent 2.5 seasons with the Philadelphia Flyers. They don't track him very well. Turnover deep. I think it's Mark Streit that puts a stick or the puck right onto the stick of Carcillo. And Ray Emery never tracks Carcillo, and it's to the back of the net. Great aggressive forecheck by the Rangers. Smart play by Carcillo to seal on the boards. 1-0 New York. That's the start the Rangers wanted.
His first goal as a Ranger in game number 3 for him. This careened back out and is controlled by Giroux. Flipped one back up the wing and wedged off was Raffl. Meanwhile, it can be played by McDonagh. Ryan McDonagh, nice poise there, controlling away from the harassment of Voracek. This one tipped back in away from Timo Timonen, and Braden Coburn to play on defense, and then lost it for a few minutes.
portion of this season, people were trying to wonder, what's Alain Vigneaul's system? Here it is. We just saw it in the Carcillo goal. Two blue shirts high on it. Rick Nash gets lost in coverage, and he sticks it to the back of the net. I have to think Craig Berube's going to want a timeout. Terrible start for the Flyers. Outstanding start. What a pass from Kreider, and a nice finish by Nash. 2-0, and yes, Berube's called a timeout.
Well, Emery didn't have a lot of help from a teammate on that one. Pierre, you've been in this circumstance and you're coaching too. What are you trying to get your team to do during this timeout if you're down by 2?
You see what he just said? Their forechecks coming hard after us, so we need to move the puck better. We need to support better. Smart play. That's what he's talking about. You don't see him yelling. He's not giving them the weather. He's giving them the news. Positive reinforcement. Okay, boys, we're down 2-0. We have a long way to go. Settle it down. We have to deal with their forecheck. Ranger forecheck has been spectacular to start this game.
Carcillo his first. Nash his 11th. Steve Mason, the backup goaltender, the starter yesterday afternoon in a loss in Philadelphia to Tampa, is watching here from the bench. That loss yesterday ended a tremendous bit of dominance by the Flyers at home. 10 straight victories. Carcillo's goal unassisted. Nash's will have assists. We'll get those for you in just a moment. For Nash, it is his 11th goal. There are now 5 Rangers, co-leaders on the team with 11.
Doc, when we were in Chicago, it was right after Canada picked their Olympic team, and boy, did Rick Nash seem so much more confident in that game. I thought it was the best game he played as a Ranger this season.
Kreider and Stepan have gotten the assist. Well, when the brain trust of Team Canada calls you to play for your country, that makes you feel really good. Carried back in by Hagelin, and that's an understatement. Call ** NHL to download NHL Game Center. Get a free premium upgrade only on Verizon. Enjoy exclusive like free live NBC national games. Never be without hockey. So a tremendous start here for the New York Rangers. As Pierre pointed out, the forecheck has had a lot to do with it. On a busy day in the NHL and evening, 1 game completed. Buffalo was able to win on a shootout against Washington. Washington does not lose many extra time games of any kind, but they did today. Grossman reverses it along. McGinn chased off there, roughed up a bit by Brassard, and so Streit will try the other side off Couturier. And then a shot was blocked off, meanwhile taken along by Zuccarello. Zuccarello fed it around behind, taken there, and fed by Pouliot, kicked across near Del Zotto, poked away from him, and a rush on now. It's Braden, check that with Cavalier, up the wing, and a shot, getting a piece of it with the glove was Lundqvist.
That's the response you want if you're a Flyer fan, player, coach. Good chance for Cavalier.
He watches here as this one squibbed away for Zuccarello to start back the other way, led back onto Del Zotto from the checkered line and in. Chip change for the Rangers. The forecheck continues. This one banked around behind. The rub out came from Carcillo, that time on his ex-teammate Timonen. Across now for Ryan McDonagh to scale right back in. Blocked on by Jay Rosehill, and a shot booted right back. Another try as it's sent back on, and a whirling shot that is deflected up high by Emery. Grabbed by Adam Hall, but not controlled. Turned along again, and a backhanded by Moore is stopped. Now it's Boyle, took the hit, got it to the point. Girardi hands it on. Zuccarello with it there. Threw one on a cross, and this one banked on free to be outletted by Hall. Taken back on here, and some work there that is done for a backhander that is saved by Lundqvist. A scramble in front of the net. Nudged on around. Luke Schenn gives it to the back. Mazzaros a shot, and that one blocked. Can be corralled further. Spun by Hall. Kicked back to him. Kept alive, though, and dropped back on by Mazzaros. Right back along promptly to the Flyers. It comes near Raffl, but no luck there. Hall pushed it around behind again. Raffl tumbles to the ice. Then he's upended, able to play it further to Hall. Around behind, it's whipped on through and can be taken and carried back up by McDonagh. Big defenseman lugs it to center and flops it back in, and it went out of play in the Flyers bench area. Let's go inside the glass, presented by Capital One. Here's Pierre.
Well, if you're a fan of the Rangers, you really love this forecheck, and a lot of coaches in the league would love this forecheck too. It's dynamic, it's hard, good first-man pressure from Dominic Moore, excellent second-man pressure from Boyle, and there's a third-man pressure, 3 guys below the icing line. How about that one? Kreider right out to Rick Nash. You see Stefan also forcing. That's what you want, Doc. Aggressive 2- and 3-man forecheck, and when you're on the same page, it works to a team.
Giroux tried to get that one, but Strawman came up from behind, and it's marched on back now for Mark Stahl. Flipped one that careened on out. The careful block by Streit. Wedged on across for Nash to move on. Nash crosses. Denied. Right in front of the net. Good play by the defense of Streit. Taken on along and then lost by Stahl, but he regathers. Shoots one, and a careful save is made by Emery. Alain Vigneault has watched this team succeed lately. They have been strong because of the change in style, as Pierre and both Eddie Olczyk in recent games have been pointing out. It has been a reversal, and usually, Pierre, I guess there's that magical barrier of 20 games before you make any judgment on a change in style, because it does affect everybody.
Yeah, fair point, and a real solid point.
To the back it comes down to McDonough. His shot booted back down. And a race on for this. Hartnell trying to close him off. McDonough, good body pressure. Jammed it into Hartnell. Cannot get back to his feet, so it's shaken on by Hagelin. Brushed off of Braden Shen to center ice. And Braden Coburn is able to spin one off the linesman's legs. Poked right back into traffic again. Covering up was Coburn. This one spiked away from him. And it is Timonen. Timonen sailed it, grabbed on by Girardi, played right back behind again. Rocked a bit was Hagelin by Timonen. Puck wedged there and then taken away by Braden Shen. Shen able to lob one ahead. He's rubbed out. Rangers following through on their checks, just as the Flyers often have. We have a stoppage of play. And the puck had been played by a high stick. We may be getting a penalty call. We'll see in a moment.
Dan Girardi's going to go 2 minutes or less for interference. Can't change your lane and obstruct, and he did. Girardi didn't like the call. The Rangers didn't like the call, but the Flyers go to the power play.
Power play is brought to you by Ford, who says if you're going to change your lane, signal, please. Offensive zone faceoff is won by Giroux, and on back now for Timonen. 5-time Olympian. Hands it over to Voracek, and a save made by Lundqvist. Rebound backhanded tip by Hartnell, and that wouldn't get through. Cleared back down, and coming out is Emery. Emery shoves it along, left behind, tangled up in the referee's skate there by Giroux. Tim Peel, Greg Kimmerly are the guys in charge of the game with the orange armbands. Tony Ceracolo and Jay Shares are watching for offsides, icing, too many men, and other fouls. Carried on now by Giroux and handed on back to Voracek. Took one swat from Dominic Moore, persisted around behind and gets some help there. Led by Giroux to the back, Timonen there. Gives it back over to Voracek, then back to Timonen. Has Giroux and gave it to him. Right back again, Timonen, back to Giroux. Drive and a save. Rebound and another save. Crossing out the right pad was Lundqvist. Timonen hands on to Giroux once more. Timonen touches, Voracek a drive, and a save made by Lundqvist. Touched along, and this one can be rushed on back to center by the reach of Dominic Moore. Voracek swings it on, pivoting with it now is Hartnell. Tried for Voracek, but instead it's Stahl, and it's back down. 40 seconds to go on this man advantage. The Flyers are 3 for their last 22 on the power play. The Rangers have killed off a dozen of the last 14. A minute to go. Raffl led it ahead, given back on now for Braden Shen. Shen able to lead it to the back, strike there, and a blast, and a save, and a scramble in front. But holding on is Lundqvist.
Well, you know the Flyers are going to jam on Henrik Lundqvist to try to make his life uncomfortable, but some real good goaltending from Henrik Lundqvist during this last power play opportunity for the Flyers. Mark Streit loads a gun through a screen. There's Henrik Lundqvist. No second chance opportunities. Kimmo Timonen to blow Giroux through the Strawman screen. Nothing there. And then Jake Voracek again with bodies in front. Big as a house.
6 shots for the power play of the Flyers. Face-off opportunity coming up here. It is Boyle to go against LeCavalier, and on the tie-up, it is whacked around behind. Stepping to it is Strawman. He's got Hagelin, and it's sent back down on Emery. 10 to go. 11 and 3/4 minutes to go here in the first period. Goals in close quarter by Carcillo and Nash have staked the Rangers to a 2-0 lead. Rattled around to McDonough, able to escape the forecheck of McGinn. McDonough able to step ahead. Full strength action here as he fires it back in off a leg. Emery crashed the boards, hoisted it back on, taken by Kreider. Kreider to the back, drive, and that one pinballed wide. A hard shot from the stick of John Moore. The Cavalier able to jab that one on his backhand as far as center. Retrieved by Michael Del Zotto and handed on across. Connected back on to Brad Richards, then up the wing to Chris Kreider. Kreider out of Boston College, sees that one brushed away and whacked right on goal for the stop of Emery by Richards. Tomorrow, Premier League coverage heats up on NBCSN with a battle between Aston Villa and Arsenal. Coverage begins tomorrow, 2 Eastern, on NBCSN. I was hearing earlier today that in case you're curious about the FA Cup, that Chelsea has won more than any other team. And that is from our authority, one of the guys in the crew here at Madison Square Garden, Paul Curtis, who knows everything about British football and loves NBCSN's coverage. I guess that was sort of selfless in terms of promoting ourselves, but it's nice to hear from somebody from Britain who likes the coverage because they know. They know.
Alain Vigneault knows he wants to utilize last change. So the Flyers have changed up a little bit in terms of their approach, in terms of the lines right now. Raffle, Adam Hall, and John Couturier is the line. So Alain Vigneault says, okay, I'll test them.
Brassard, Zuccarello, and Pouliot are in on the forecheck. That one came dangerously through the blue paint. But how dangerous could it be? They didn't get burned that time. Coburn is sandwiched there hard. Meanwhile, scooting away is Zuccarello. Rammed there by Grossman. Picked up, score! What a ripper! My goodness, Brassard has made it 3-0.
Doc, if you're the coach of the New York Rangers, you're in love with this right now. Your team is following the directions. He changed to get the right matchup. The right match is established, and then it's just body slamming, skill, speed, precision, cycle, and hammer time. This is beautiful hockey from the New York Rangers. Matt Zuccarello, the smallest guy on the ice, gets it out, and then it's a one-timer for Derek Brassard. These guys are on it, and Vigneault deserves a lot of credit. He utilized last change because he saw something different from the Flyers, and it worked.
Back to business here in a 3-0 lead for the home team. Scoop back in. 7 wins in their last 10. A 60-minute win tonight would push them past the Flyers. And only a single point away from a rather into a tie for second with the Washington Capitals. This one brought back along now by Simmons. Spun one through the net out wide. Taken on now by Luke Shen. Nicely dodges Hagelin. Shooting one, and that one's gone off by Lundqvist, who has been busier than they would diagram this. All the way back down it comes, and it's Emery. Stashed along to Luke Shen, playing in his 400th NHL game tonight. Brassard from Zuccarello and Pouliot at 9:24 of this eventful period for the Rangers, as Lundqvist is able to spear yet another one. Played back along now for Coburn, and that one carefully held in the breadbasket of Lundqvist. Brassard's 8, Nash's 11, Carcillo's first, 3-0 the home team.
To be happy with the way your team's forechecking. Is that because of the way Philadelphia plays or because of your style?
Well, one thing we wanted to do was get on their defense and try and create some turnovers. We did, and luckily tonight we were able to make them pay with a couple of goals. We survived that penalty killing and got another one right after, so it's a good start. We got to keep it going.
Thanks for your time. Have some fun in it.
Thanks, Pierre.
Well, he's having some fun here in the first, eh, Pierre?
It sure is, Doc. You know, the big thing is there's almost like stress relief on the Ranger bench for having a good start. They haven't had a lot of great starts, but they had one tonight.
Kreider chases this one down with Coburn. Coburn fell, wedged one high, bounces near Stahl, tried to keep, but failed in doing that, and so we get an offside call. Among the other teams playing today, the Islanders on the road, they've won 6 in a row. And Anaheim continues to impress. They're home against Detroit tonight. 6 wins in a row, 8 home wins. How are they doing it here?
Good question. Anaheim, the biggest thing, they're depth players. When you really look at it, everybody knows about their stars, but you look at their depth players, Doc in particular, and Daniel Winnick would be one example. Nick Bonino would be another one of them. Andrew Cogliano would be another. Their depth players have been fantastic.
Lundqvist helped that one along. McDonough turns there. Boy, was he ever smashed. Centering pass is flagged by Dominic Moore. Very defensively responsible. Sees this one lofted on back to Luke Schenn. Then back over for the carry-on by Simmons. Simmons a shot, and that one blocked. Turnaround by Braden Schenn. 3 Rangers on him. One of them, Dominic Moore, emerges with this puck. Played it back up the wing. Carcillo couldn't swagger by. Thrown by Dominic Moore wide. Girardi takes over there. Shooting one past the glove hand of Emery. Rattled all the way around and is kept by McDonough. His shot is tipped wide by Luke Schenn. Along to get it again, Carcillo. Then Girardi, flagged by Simmons, could not outlet as he had a man breaking Braden Schenn. McDonough with a pass that's ladled back in by Dominic Moore. Fielded by Emery and quickly back up off Grossman. And this one skipped on out to center. Pouliot able to escape Couturier, handed it across, and offside was called. The men's competition at the Winter Olympics is a month from today with just 2 games. Czech Republic, Sweden, Latvia, and Switzerland.
Wayne Simmons and Dan Carcillo right now are really getting after one another. And Wayne Simmons says, you really think you're that tough? Next time we're on the ice, let's go. Let's go if you think you're that tough. And Simmons, you just heard Simmons say, okay, we'll do it. And then he says, you'll be knocked out if we do it. Okay.
Meanwhile, Zuccarello wanting to go by. Backhands one that went off the stick of Grossman. That would probably be the 300th challenge in the history of this series for a strap. A delayed penalty call coming up against the Flyers. Right around in front, and Emery sealed it up. And then they score. Will it count? The delayed call is still in the air, and they are signaling no goal. And the 2 referees, Tim Peel and Greg Kimmerly, have a brief conference. And let's see if we get 2 different calls.
Philadelphia number 8, 2 minutes for holding. There is no goal on the play as there is a delayed penalty and White touched the puck.
Okay, just 1 call.
Let's see. Nick Grossman gets the penalty. Samuelson doesn't seem happy. So there's the holding penalty for Nick Grossman. Brassard wins the race. He keeps the play alive. Couturier eliminates him. Not yet, though. Brassard's still working on him. They must have had the intent to blow the whistle.
When it came from center line, then along with the call made from behind the net, here's Stella with a shot that rocketed off the glass. Part of the reason that what Pierre said is probably true. There was that intent to stop play. The power play is brought to you by Craftsman. And so the tools that Alain Vigneault will have include Nash, who lugs it ahead. Nicely steps on. Nash dips the shoulder and wheels. Delays now. He's got Kreider and gives to him. The return on to Nash. Off his stick, and Adam Hall clears one back down the ice. Pierre, you were able to read the eyes of 17 in white and 13 in blue. Were they serious about this?
Oh, yes. Very much so. Simmons is trying to get his team going and trying to percolate the bench.
This one kicked back over. Vandervelde able to play this one. Lifts one that is knifed on down and controlled by Brad Richards.
But if you're Carcillo, there's no need to do it. I mean, he's got a 3-0 lead. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I believe that was said during a certain playoff series with a guy named Max Talbot.
That would be correct. Talbot knew how to get under his skin. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh in 09.
Pittsburgh wound up winning the series that day, coming from behind, and then, well, they sort of won everything after that. Big blast from Richards is wide, rattled on around. Away from Hall, kept by Del Zotto, walks it on across and deals it over. Jammed by Brassard to the back to Richards. Then shoots, and that one blocked around in front. Oh, and swept just wide. Now played for a beat in front. Del Zotto shot sailed back out again by Hall. Wow. Lots of pressure. 3 seconds and 2 left on the minor penalty to Grossman. 2 shots on goal during that power play for the Rangers. 5 3/4 minutes to go first period. 3-0 in favor of New York. Jammed across now for the carry out by Voracek. Voracek swept it on. Walked back across and thrown by Couturier, and that jammed away by the goal stick held by Lundqvist. Stepping free is Kreider now. Kreider able to walk ahead, sized up by Coburn. It's played by Stepan. Across to Girardi. Fed one across in front. That trickled off a Flyers skate. Looked like he had some Rangers nearby, but not on target for that. Walked ahead by LeCavalier. Tips the shoulder and wheels. LeCavalier touched the pass on back. Voracek a shot. Oh, it poked away. And another shot. And then blocked by the defense. And back out it comes.
Oh, man, what a block by Mark Stahl. And he's laboring. He's having a tough time getting off the ice. He can't get off.
Flyers keep the pressure on. Giroux's shot is guided away and out of play by Lundqvist. A very wise deflection by him. It gives Stahl a break. Tomorrow on NBCSN at 6:30, Flyers and Sabres coverage begins with NHL Live. Wednesday on the NBCSN at 6:30, Washington and Pittsburgh. Wednesday night rivalry coverage begins with NHL Live. Thursday, same network, 7:30, LA and St. Louis. Coverage begins with NHL Live. Download the app or watch live online at NBCSports.com/live extra. You're keeping track of this there, Pierre?
Yes, sir. And you know what? Alan Vigneault's wise. Get last change. But you see Simmons on the ice. He knows the interplay between the two. No need to have Carcillo on the ice. And you had a 3-0 lead in New York.
Simmons there. Moves for this. Shoved Girardi down. Simmons plays behind. Wraparound little flip, and that blocked down by the defense. Another try as McDonough seemed to get in the way of that one. Meanwhile, it is centered for a poke right back that bounces out in front. Jammed at. Loose puck, fed to the back. Grossman again. Straight and drive, and it went hopping wide. Played back along by Simmons. Protects there the leading goal scorer for the Flyers. Led it back to Grossman. Across to Streit again. Streit with a long pass. Grossman there. Bangs one off the boards. Could not be reached by Brayden Schenn. Pinching along and taking a hit was Streit. Battled for there and fed back on for the playback out again by Boyle. Pivoting with this now is Hartnell. Takes a look up ice. Decides to drop it on back for the carry on by Streit. Gains the zone. Leads one on for Brayden Schenn, and his shot rattled around and can be played on by Stralman. Tipped into the glove. Kept again. Brayden Schenn put it on goal, and deciding to hold on to this one was Lundqvist.
Henrik Lundqvist has faced 14 shots so far in this game, Doc, and he's been letter perfect. And a lot of them been through mazes of players. Lots of legs, lots of bodies, lots of sticks, and Henrik Lundqvist, he's been big as a house. Those are not routine saves. Those are tough saves. People are going to look at the scoreboard and say, you know, Philadelphia's getting beat up bad. Well, right now, the Rangers have been outshot 15-11, and even though the Rangers lead 3-0, Lundqvist has been great.
LeCavalier threw one across that kicked back near Coburn and can be taken on and rolled on further by Carcillo. So now Timonen guides it ahead. That one went off of time again and squibbed on back to be played by Del Zotto. Michael Del Zotto with one that is directed back in by Nash. Hunted down by Timonen. Hauled a bit there by Carcillo. Through the legs pass from Moore. Nash to the back. Shot by Del Zotto. And a loud save by Emery, who's just now back to his feet. And then this one kicked over. So can be played by Dominic Moore, and the shot floated wide. Pouliot able to grab it there. Pouliot spun one that's knocked down by Couturier. Nicely passed ahead, but offside to LeCavalier. 3:12 to go first period. Shots are 15-12 in favor of the Flyers, but they trail 3-0.
But Doc, you get the sense that Philadelphia is pushing back, and I think a big reason why is the composure that Craig Berube utilized during the timeout. And you can hear it on the bench from the players where it was quiet after the third goal on the Flyers bench. It's starting to get more animated now, and I think going forward, if they can hold it at 3, it might be good news for them.
Girardi finessed one on. Just now getting his stick was Giroux. Seemed to be laboring a little bit when he got back to his feet. Meanwhile, this is Nash's shot, and that one stopped right in front. And then lost on over to Stepan. Tried to press one and tried a forehand shot. Reaching in with Giroux. Led on back now for Nash. Dribbled a little pass over. Stepan, nice move. Backhander, and that floated off Giroux again. Now it's Kreider dropping it behind. Giroux is back to play it. Helped it along for Luke Schenn. And Schenn tried to return and could not. The Ranger forecheck pays off again. Mazzaro's the other way. Tipped along by Raffl. Settled down and carried up by Giroux. He's got Voracek with him, but that one nicely deflected away. And a good reach by Zuccarello. Sent back onto Voracek. In stride Giroux. And Giroux able to backhand one that's gloved quickly down and angled across. So McDonough reconnects on with Girardi, then thrown up the wing past Pouliot and regathered. Timo Timonen, the only non-NHLer on Team Finland in 1998 in Nagano, and has made every team since. A hatchet job there by Hartnell. Pinching along was Coburn. Coburn sent it further, thrown onto the back, and can be corralled there and fired on by Brayden Schenn. Around it came near Timonen. Good collision there, and he tangles and spins with Zuccarello. Players go flying, and there'll be a penalty coming up against the Flyers, and maybe a little more here.
Brassard got involved with Simmons. Not sure that was wise by Brassard. That's not his thing. But the Ranger players heard what Simmons and Carcillo were talking about. Simmons now and Carcillo right here in front of me. Right in front of me, Simmons and Carcillo. There they are again.
Apologize for a little extra that we didn't intend for you to hear, but is a part of what happened down there. More of the talking back and forth continues between these two guys. There was some memorable footage in the Stanley Cup Final a few years ago of Carcillo engaging the Chicago Blackhawks in a similar fashion. We do intend to get some of the life of the matter, but not the language. And that one just slipped through, sorry. Hartnell, a roughing minor at 18-15. Power play is 0-1. Back it comes for a shot, and a save made by Emery. Turned on now for control of Zuccarello. Zuccarello watched there by Couturier. Fed around behind, and a battle out in front. It kicked away from Coburn. Stumbling down was Zuccarello, and a 3-on-2 short-handed for the Flyers. And that one is pushed on into traffic and eventually controlled back out again by Zuccarello. 1:15 to go in the period. A minute and a half on the power play to the Rangers. They lead in the game 3-0. Pouliot shouldered there by Coburn, and a good hit by Timonen. Pouliot helped it along. Richards able to take it there. Richards flung one that is taken by Zuccarello. Tried to jam it through. Another shot is blocked down. Kicked on out to center where it can be walked on now by Couturier, and he delays. Picks up reinforcements from the bench. Hands it to one of them, Luke Schenn. Schenn a shot, and it's blocked away artfully by Lundqvist. 42 to go in the shorthand situation for the Flyers. Brad Richards walks this one on ahead. Richards with 2 power play goals for the Rangers this year. Stepan fired it back in. Kreider saw it hop over his stick. Battled for there. Vandervelde got some help, and it's turned out to center. Ricocheted off a linesman there, and can be played to Richards. 15 to go. Stepan had that one shut down by Raffl. It's popped back near him and squibbed onto center as we're down to the last 5. Walking ahead with this one and controlling right around in front, trying to jam it in. That time was Vandervelde shut off by Lundqvist. The horn has sounded. There will be a penalty coming up here at the end of the period. And they are talking to the Flyers about all of this. So we would presume it's a penalty against the Flyers. Goaltender interference, sure enough, on Vandervelde.
Vandervelde out of the University of North Dakota tries to go hard and make a hard play on the net. Almost runs out of racetrack as he gets to Henrik Lundqvist. They call goaltender interference. The talking never stopped between Simmons, Rosehill, and Carcillo. And you have to think at some point, Doc, it's going to carry over into the second and third period.
Van de Velde gets the minor penalty at the end of the period, so it will be a 5-on-3 for 15 at the start of the second. Stay tuned for the Lexus intermission. Liam, Mike, and Keith. The Rangers are outworking the Flyers, and Miller stones the Capitals. All a part of what's coming up. Carcillo with his first at 2:14. Nash at 2:42 made it 2-0. Brassard, nearing the halfway point of the first period, made it 3-0. And that's where it stands after one. Imagine that with all the energy-saving bulbs. The old-fashioned ones aren't going to be around anymore. Old-fashioned matchup between the Rangers and the Flyers here. The Rangers are leading. The Flyers are 2 men short for 15 seconds. Hartnell on the rough and Van de Velde for goalie interference at the horn. And so Ray Emery back out. He faced 13 in the first period. The Flyers generated 17, and Henrik Lundqvist got all 17. Those are the 2 men, if you were a teacher in the classroom, you would not let them sit together.
You can add Jay Rosehill to the mix as well, Doc.
Oh, that's right. He has gotten involved, so to speak.
Yes, yes.
Well, at any rate, it is a kill of significance for the Flyers here. That one thrown back in, and will it be icing? Sure enough. And so the Rangers guilty of icing while on a 2-man advantage. 7 seconds to go on the roughing minor to Hartnell.
That's just a little bit of miscommunication right there. Brad Richards is trying to push the pace of the game for the New York Rangers. Right there, one guy was zigging and the other guy was zagging. But you like what the Rangers are trying to do. They're really trying to push the pace.
Zuccarello nicely denied by Timonen. Puck fed across now. Pouliot sets it up there. First man is back. That's Hartnell. It's a 5 against 4. Hartnell takes out Zuccarello. It's wound around now to Coburn. Floated one that is past the leaping attempt of McDonough and set up by Lundqvist. Now then Richards. A minute 30 to go on his team's power play. Richards wrists it back in and around it rattles for Timonen. Coburn jabbed it further, hustling to it Zuccarello, angled back to Richards. For Zuccarello, slugged it back along to Brassard. Richards yet again. Forced it off the boards and it careened near Zuccarello. Brushed onto the back and kept alive by McDonough. On across now for Richards. McDonough shot and a headhunter that got the glass. Zuccarello takes it there. Pushed one that went off Brassard. Given on across now. Fed on to Zuccarello. Holds through one off Richards' stick in the glass. And then he's taken out briefly by Timonen. That one went off Coburn. Nice work by Nash. On to McDonough. Through one and goal. A great save by Emery on the touch at the front of the net from Richards. If the Flyers score next, that is a very significant save.
Yes, sirree.
Down to the last half minute of this elongated power play for the Rangers. It's angled on across now to be taken by Stepan. Fired it around and Nash able to spear it there. Gave it onto the back for a reconnection to Nash from Del Zotto. His shot is shrugged away by Emery. Drive by Girardi and that one set down. Staggering a bit from having blocked that shot, but still battling for possession there was Couturier, and it's rifled down by Roth.
And he needs off. He's limping off. So does Timonen and Coburn. They just got on.
Long toss ahead, 1 second, and now it's up. Full strength action, Nash ahead. Didn't get the shot away because of a good cancellation by Raffle. And then Del Zotto fires it around. Nash got it there and threw one at a bad angle across the crease. Rattled around behind again, and waiting for it is Rick Nash. Right in front and off the paddle of Emery. Now Giroux. Flyers have accomplished what undoubtedly was one of the mandates of the intermission, and that's kill off the 2 penalties. Here's Voracek wafting it back in off the stick of Girardi, who recovers. Deals it on back to the safety of center, and it is Callahan flipping it on. Callahan, remarkably, since coming back from injury, has not been a part of the Ranger power play. Not coincidentally, I don't think. It has been very successful, so there's no reason for Alain Vigneault to make a change.
Last year was 23rd in the league. Going into tonight's action, 6th in the league. That's a significant improvement, as everybody knows. And Scotty Arneal, the architect's a big reason why. The assistant coach, Alain Vigneault.
He's one of the guys close to Pierre down there, as well as Ulf Samuelsson. Good protection for Pierre. Stepping ahead is Callahan. Dips the shoulder, fed one, and careened off a stick all the way back out. Long toss ahead, and it's Brassard. Flyers in the midst of a change. Brassard fed it across. It won't go through another try. Would not work. Oh, it looked like they were not only caught, but that the net was going to be wide open. Brayden Schenn fed one around in front of Hartnell, and it's stopped by Lundqvist. Thrown on back to center, and will have to be chased down. Both teams with 2 good chances. 16:15 to go, second period. Directed on a cross for Simmons. Dropped it back off, no luck there. Jabbed on out now for a play across from Zuccarello to Boyle. The big man galloped ahead, canceled out by the reach of Simmons. On with it now is Brayden Schenn. Schenn able to bang one loudly off the boards. That's kicked back along again by Carcillo. He and Simmons are eye to eye right now and waltzing around a little bit. Now they part company. Meanwhile, this is lofted back up the wing. Dominic Moore there, away from Grossman. In deep for Carcillo. Wedged to the boards and glass behind. Turning with it is Adam Hall. The big man gave it up to Carcillo, then led around to Hall. Product of Michigan State gave it across to Grossman, and he hands ahead to Rosehill. Rosehill plopped it in and goes back in after on John Moore, but getting their first Vandeveldy, so it is played back up to Stepan. Pass rifled across and geared on by John Moore. Stepan, a shot! And it's snared by Emery.
Rosehill and Carcillo. Remember, Rosehill was jumping in with Wayne Simmons when it came to verbally jousting with Carcillo. And here are the other 2 combatants, Carcillo and Simmons. Simmons knows his team has to get back into it. Fighting right now is not going to get him back in. The referees are aware that's a little bit of a problem between those 2. But boy, oh boy, Doc, the pace has been great. Goaltending has been really solid after Emery gave up the first 3. He's been really good. And Lundqvist, as Keith, Mike, and Liam were talking about, has been exceptional for the Rangers.
Here's Nash shooting off the pipe. And it banked around to be taken back up by McGinn. 4 shots and 4 stops by Emery this period. No shots on goal yet by the Flyers. But they spent a good deal of time filling off those 2 minor penalties. Half-boards, it skipped loose off Kreider. Kreider able to come up with it again. Looking ahead, skittered one that is brushed along by Mazzaros. Touched on by McGinn. Second effort poked it on through, getting there Couturier. His shot is wide of the cage. Mark Streit could not hold, and so he must drop back to center and then blasted back in. The Swiss-born defenseman. Del Zotto with the long pass. Kreider able to march ahead. Leads it on now to Stepan. Stepan delays. Fed it for Del Zotto. Stop net by Emery. It's the Flyers' turn to attack back. Voracek moving back up. Delays, toes, and shoots one that went wide. Taken around by Roppel and played in front. Richards gave it ahead to center, where it is held and then blasted back in by Timonen. The goal stick of Lundqvist is in the corner at the Zamboni entrance. Along it skips off that stick. Hagelin popped it behind, and it's grabbed there and floated ahead all the way back down and on goal, so no icing. Lundqvist has his stick back. Girardi forced that one back in. Very smart play by the Rangers and well executed to put that on goal, so no icing. And ahead now comes Simmons, barreling back in, drives, oh, he banged into Lundqvist. Lundqvist shaken up. The net is dislodged. Lundqvist gets up looking for a penalty, and he might get one called here.
And Michael Raffl just shanked one. Wide open net, and he just missed the net.
Play is halted. Middle stages, second period, still 3-0.
Back to New York, the Rangers lead 3-0, but Philadelphia is pushing back, and Henrik Lundqvist has been exceptional, and you love the fearless play of Wayne Simmons going hard to the net. Lundqvist shuts it down, and then Michael Raffl with the net coming off just shanks that on the backhand, but Philadelphia's pushing back, and they're pushing back hard.
Hartnell burrows in for this one. McDonough got there first, took the shove from Hartnell, and then Girardi. Wheeled by Braden Shen. Lurching at it was Lundqvist. Up the boards it comes for the turning Benoit Pouliot. Hands it on back and gets the return from Girardi. Work back along. Canceling Zuccarello was Grossman, and it's held by Emery. Download the NBC Sports Live Extra app to watch the game live on your phone or tablet. The NBC Sports Live Extra app on NBCSports.com/liveextra and NHL.com. We mentioned that Claude Giroux is 26 today. Marian Hossa, Espen Knutson, Nicholas Kronwall, Daryl Evans, Ulf Dahlen, Joseph Boumediene. Among those, there are still more, but there's action here. Fed to the back, John Moore swung it off the corner boards. Braden Coburn took over there. Led back out now for Vinny Lecavalier. And offside is called. We've talked about Matt Zuccarello, but Pierre-Espen Knutson was one of the first great players to come to the NHL from Norway.
Yes, drafted by the Hartford Whalers, a.k.a. Shampoo. That was his name in his...
What?
That's correct, because he had such luxurious, thick hair. A shampoo company in Norway actually paid him a lot of dough to do some advertising. He was a talented player, boy.
Were you in Hartford when he was drafted?
Yes. Wasn't there to coach him. Oh, what do we got? Here we go. Shannon Carcillo. Interesting. Not Luke Schen's thing, by the way.
Couldn't prove it by the start.
Oh, he's a lot bigger and stronger, but not his thing fighting, but he's showing a lot of moxie, boy.
Just getting his helmet man straightened, and the players are down. The seconds are in. And enthusiastic banging of sticks by Philadelphia.
That's an interesting way for a bout to start. One Galea. Carcillo goes right after him. Give Luke Schenn a lot of credit. Danny Carcillo, by the way, 1 year in Phoenix had 324 penalty minutes. That was the most in the NHL that year.
And Schenn with those lefts, pretty impressive.
Well, they grow him tough in Saskatoon, Doc. Played for the Saskatoon Contacts and the Kelowna Rockets before he was dropped in the first round by Toronto. He's had some rough rides around the Western Hockey League. Not known for pugilistic nature.
Somehow or other, you wind up being maybe sometimes a little bigger in Philadelphia than you were before. Shot into the catching glove of Lundqvist.
See how this has ignited this game. And Philadelphia is pushing back. You can see this after they kill off that two-man advantage that Doc, you sagely said was a swing point, at least for this period. Philadelphia has been pushing the pace, and Lundqvist has had to make some really good saves.
An unnamed NHL coach said Philadelphia is the only team in the league that can win this way and still win games. We'll see if they do tonight. The deficit is 3.
I know their general manager is one of the toughest guys in the league, Paul Holmgren.
And that was the man who had more scraps than anybody in the history of the sport, Craig Berube. Here's Voracek around behind, wheeling to the outside, fed one that ricocheted off of Raffl. Raffl able to fire it around, and it comes over near Kreider, but getting there first with Voracek. Good hustle by him. Then Giroux, then to the back. It's led across and intercepted away from the reach of Timonen. On comes Nash! Can't get the shot away. A defensive Jim turned in there, and right back up come the Flyers. On with it is Voracek. Moving up with Raffl, onside, I guess. Voracek turning there. Eric Stahl on him. Raffl got it, fired one that pinballed right back, and it's Nash again for the Rangers.
I think everybody now knows Rick Nash is back. That was electrifying.
Along with this is Grossman, pushed it further, and Callahan floated it on back. Blocked by Grossman, outlet it off of Raffl, and poked on across for McDonough. Drilled back again by Braden Shen and set up by Lundqvist. Smoked out with McDonough, and a pass comes on free. Nicely for Callahan to dart ahead. Callahan up the wing, slams on the brakes, gave it to Girardi. His shot was blocked aside by Hartnell and grabbed off the boards by Emery.
Braden Coburn tried to get a little too slick there, going to Kimmo Timonen, an aggressive stick play by Rick Nash, and then the speed. and he pulls away from Timonen, and Braden Coburn, who's 6'5", has to really hustle to get back on Rick Nash. Does a good job, as Doc said, a defensive gem, but great burst of speed by Rick Nash.
This is what they dreamed of when they got him from Columbus, plays like that. A little different finish they were hoping for, but he is showing some impressive skill. In on this draw, it's Callahan, and through the legs won by Brayden Schenn, taken on by Strike, hoisted on by Simmons, and guided on further by Hall. So Girardi rattled it around. Poked on by Simmons, crunched with Callahan. To the corner, and Simmons dragging it, tried to get it in front of Brayden Schenn, no luck. Now it's Hartnell. Hartnell banged into, keeps going though, with it around for Brayden Schenn. Reached by Simmons and spun right on goal, and a save remarkably is made by Lundqvist there. Taken on by Simmons again. Simmons threw one, and that one blocked off, and then one-handed along by Girardi. Closed off effectively there. Got it on for Hagelin, and then is played out by Callahan. If they hurry it 2-on-1, leg back up the wing, trying to get by with Richards, no luck. Grossman turned in a good defensive play there. Brayden Schenn along with Grossman, but taken by Richards and banged behind. Coming on is John Moore to play it here. Led it around behind to Richards. Watched by Grossman. Gave it to Del Zotto. Del Zotto rattled it on further. Up the board for John Moore. Native of Chicago. Gave it along further for a play to be made by Richards on back. Pouliot handed it right back to him again. Richards bent to Pouliot. Two enormous saves for Ray Emery. And we get a stoppage of play.
Kimberly's going to call a slash right here. And now we got Brassard and Hartnell going behind the play. Let's get to the slash first. Right there, the slash into the hands for Mark Streit. You see one slash, two slashes, and that's called from the neutral zone by Greg Kimberly. And then later on, Hartnell's looking to even it up. What a save, by the way, by Greg Kimberly. Hartnell tries to get after Brassard and can't go with Brassard into taking a penalty to even it up.
The Rangers on the power play are 0 for 3. They've gotten 5 shots on goal in their power play opportunities. 5 of the 21 they've fired in the game. Strike the slash at 9:48. Zuccarello on the face-off tie-up with Couturier. And to the back it comes. Richards a shot. That one blocked in front by Timonen. Another one. With that try was McDonough.
But we've never seen the Rangers over the last few years move a puck like this in a power play. It's exquisite to watch.
They can't get in this time, as in the way was Couturier. And it is spirited on back to McDonough. Past the halfway point of regulation time. Woven on ahead by McDonough, couldn't get it through Couturier, and it is lobbed on back down, and coming to the bench is Adam Hall. 40 seconds killed by the Flyers here. Rangers trying to work one ahead. Do get it over for a shot that skipped wide of the cage. Left by Pouliot. Taken by McDonough. Given on to Zuccarello. Rifled onto the back to Richards. Challenge there came from Raffl. Toe drag and control there by Brassard. And then let it on back and gets it again. Brassard fires and a save made by Emery.
Precision passing, really good gap and spacing, cross-seam pass, and Ryan McDonough just misses a wide-open, yawning cage.
Seems easy, doesn't it? It's 4 by 6 feet, and the puck is 1 by 3 inches. As Emile Francis always said, a slippery game. Sent to the back now and held by Del Zotto across to Nash, and the shot was blocked wide by Grossman. Popped up high. Stepan settled it down. Tried to hook it on across. Brushed out by Couturier. And then it's Hall. And Hall drops it back in. Lundqvist planed it away. Couturier got it there. 35 seconds left on the slashing minor to strike. Girardi fed it around behind. Del Zotto took it there. Led on to Stepan. Tipped back in deep by Mazzaros. And retrieved there by Kreider. Good crunch on him into the boards, and it will draw a penalty. Meanwhile, on the delayed call, Rangers drop it on, and they give it up so that they have a 5-on-3 that will last, this time, 11 seconds.
Nicholas Grossman's going to get this penalty. He jumps into the air. Watch how he just comes up right there. He's going to come up high. Kreider turns, leaves his feet, crash into the wall. And that's where I really believe, Doc, if you allowed players to wrap up like Brian Burke, the president of the Calgary Flames, wants players to do, and ride players into the glass rather than just tomahawk them into the glass and smash them face first into the glass, we'd have less of that.
55,000 hits estimated in the course of an NHL season. That's a lot. And as Brendan Shanahan, the Edmonton Justice and former Ranger, has said, if we can ever get the ones that injure out of it, then we will have done a good job. But they are still punishing such hits now. As it's McDonough feeding one, and it's shanked off Pouliot. Rangers were pretty clever on the play, but it did not work out. Here's Richards guiding one across. It is a 5 against 4 as it's led over to Brassard. Brassard just dips the shoulder and looks things over. Sped one to the front. They try a play there from Pouliot. No luck. Guided on by Streit, but taken by McDonough. Richards dropping back in with this. Gave it on over for Zuccarello. He was trying for Pouliot. The Rangers may regret all the cute plays. This is held now by Richards to the back to McDonough. Angled back over for Zuccarello. Then on back to McDonough again. Led over to Richards. Shooting save, Emery. Minute 5 to go.
Well, they've had more than enough opportunities in terms of offensive zone time and precision passing. They're just not shooting with the same kind of precision with their passing the puck. Great opportunity for Benoit Pouliot there. And give Ray Emery some credit. Hasn't been an easy game for him, but he's shown how mentally tough he is and how athletic he is.
A strong bounce back from him. Rangers still with a minute 5 on this power play. And a chance to make this 4-0. Both of these teams have been strong lately. Both of them suffered at the start of the season. Flyers 1 win in the first 7. Rangers 3 wins in the first 9, all on the road. Richards gave it on across. The delay here comes from Stepan. Back to Richards again. Given over once more to Stepan. Sets up Richards. Save, Emery.
Ray Emery is good. Luke Schenn should go up to him and say, thanks a lot, partner. Luke Schenn's got to get that puck out. Face-off win by Giroux. That's a set play, and he didn't get that puck out, and he knows. He knows that's got to come out, and Ray Emery bailed him out.
Rangers about 58% on the face-offs tonight, and they win another important one. A shot off, and Emery got a piece of that wafting shot that came from Richards, who swung at it and missed, and it goes down the ice, and Lundqvist has to cut it off before the pie slice, or it's illegal. Around behind, this one jabbed away off a flyer and can be grabbed by Richards. Outletted ahead for the carry-on by Nash. Given to Stepan. Right on across, and a nice deflection there by Adam Hall. Pumped along by Couturier, and again to the Rangers it comes. Right around in front, holding Kreider.
If you play with the matches, if you don't handle them properly, you're going to get burned. Couturier's got to get that out. He doesn't. Rangers keep it alive. Chris Kreider working. Stay off of Braden Colburn's skate, and it hits the back of the net. Watch 5 skate right there. Goes off his right skating in. He utilizes Rick Nash with a little bit of a prop, and he finishes for his 12th goal of the year.
5th goal on the power play at 13-18. The Rangers now with 4 players who have 11, and Kreider, who leads the team with 12. Voracek hands up the wing. Streit roaring on in, right around in front. A save is made by Lundqvist. There are times when the Swedish-born goalie for the Rangers has been alone, but it is 4-0 his team. Inside the glass, presented by Toyota. Here's Pierre.
The demise of Rick Nash may have been a bit premature. Rick Nash has looked like a machine here tonight again for the New York Rangers. He's putting games together that are so good because he's strong, he can finish, he wants the puck, he's making a difference with a shot off the pipe right there, and then his speed and his skating improved so much. Great job on a breakaway. Yang gets caught by Braden Coburn. But you got to admire the way he's going to the net now. This is a completely different Rick Nash than what we saw at the beginning of the year.
41 goals, his biggest year, and that led the league. No one with more in that season. Turned 18 6 days before he was drafted in 2002 by Columbus. Been around a while, still a young man.
And he was great in the 2010 games, playing with Jonathan Toews and Mike Richardson. Huge line for Canada.
Turning ahead with this is Voracek. Voracek able to escape now with LeCavalier, who plays this one on the bounce. Dropped around behind to Voracek, lost LeCavalier there. Roughed up a bit by Girardi, who is without his stick. Beg your pardon, Strowman. Meanwhile, this is carried back up by the Rangers, who have nothing less than a 4-on-2. Given back to Boyle. Save made by Emery. Luke Schenn steps to this one and hoists it on out to center. You think where the Flyers would be had Emery not been strong here in the second. The post came up big once. Emery on 3 significant occasions as we're nearing the last 5 minutes of the second. Zuccarello fires it right back in again. Emery watching as Mazzaros goes for this. A remarkable transformation in Chris Kreider. Now leading the team in goals with a dozen. Pretty balanced scoring for the top 5 of the forwards for the Rangers. 12 for one, 11 for the 4 others. Lobbed right back in again by Hartnell, who's sent down. And John Moore will take over there. Banged it around for Zuccarello to tip back out. Wayne Simmons will go back. Played on by Timonen. Chopped on through Girardi. After it is John Moore. Topped it away from Rosehill. This one careened behind and Girardi fields it there. Run into it by a couple of Flyers. Got that one along to Stepan. Played on further to Nash. Gives up the wing and here comes Kreider with it. Kreider is Shaw. And a good block there by Emery. Kreider sent it around behind. Back up the boards to Nash. Nash taking a look through the traffic. Sent one across. Delzato fields. Gets the return pass from Stepan and gives it back to him. Stepan behind. Trying to get there is Kreider. Kreider roughed up a little bit for his trouble. Meanwhile, it is poked on back and it's Stepan clever to play again. University of Wisconsin product, laid it to the front. Gathered in by Adam Hall. Dealt back out to center and Jay Rosehill brings it on. Slugs it right back in as we're down to the last 3:45 of the second. Stepan, while off balance, played it further. Mazzaros connects back up now with McGill. Right back, McGinn rather. Going back in for this is LeCavalier. Hoisted from him by Delzato. Pressed from behind was Strowman. And along come the Rangers to corral it again. Zuccarello rocketed it across. Played on by Coburn. Flopped down and can be started back out to center. Pouliot run into there. Set up by McGinn on back deeper. We're mentioning a month from today, Sweden will play the Czech Republic, and I would imagine we're watching their starting goaltender, they being Sweden here tonight. He has been flawless. He has faced 22. There's another shot that ricocheted perhaps off McGinn at the front, went wide. Scaled on out off of Brassard, and no icing called for that reason. Now strike run into. Meanwhile, banked up by Timonen, taken on by Couturier, and dropped back down. Racing in is Raffles, set up by Lundqvist, and Mark Stahl up the boards. Gathered in there and sent on across by Voracek. Chopped on over for Callahan. Callahan bear-hugged and rubbed out by Raffles. Mazzaro scrapping for possession, able to bring it on. It's tipped on to him, and as he started in, offside is called with 2:26 to go in the second. It is the Rangers by 4. Here you see the flags, Callahan, McDonough, and Stepan, the U.S., Nash for Canada, Hagelin and Lundqvist for Sweden, and Zuccarello for Norway. 7 guys, 4 nations. All begin competition on the 12th of February. Pierre and Eddie and I and lots of other people get to go and see some of the best hockey that we think we are going to see. Remember going into Vancouver, some of the players were saying this may be the best hockey tournament in history. Well, it was pretty good, but you have upper-level players from all over the world representing 12 nations in men's competition. beginning on the 12th and finishing with the gold medal game on the 24th.
About 7 guys from the Kladno club team over time are going to represent the Czech Republic. Kladno's a city of about 80,000 people, about 45 minutes to an hour by train from Prague.
And there's 7 guys out of the 23?
7.
Braden Shen right around in front. Oh, and an attempt by Hartnell was canceled out by McDonough and flew harmlessly high. Hartnell will try to generate something else here. His team is down by 4. Shanked on. Can be played further by Timonen. Craig Berube was asked this morning, when you beat the Rangers 2-1, does that give you confidence? He said that's an altogether different Rangers team than the one that we faced back in late October. Rifle in front, and that one couldn't be handled because Timonen did the defensive job on Richards. Braden Shen steps off. Offside is called. Inside the glass, here's Pierre.
Now, Doc, this is what we were talking about with all the guys from Kladno in the Czech Republic. Michael Frolik, who was known as Baby Yager, Jaromir Yager, Thomas Kaberle, who's now playing for Kladno, Andrei Pavlich, the goaltender from Winnipeg, Thomas Plekanec, who's actually going to be the captain, Jake Voracek, and Marek Zidlitsky. Those are the 7 guys from the Kladno club team, at one point played there anyway, so we'll be representing the Czech Republic. Pretty amazing.
Voracek with a couple yesterday despite a losing cause as Luke Shen goes back down. He was being tended to at the bench earlier, just a little aftermath from the scrap with Carcillo, but he acquitted himself well, as you see Voracek.
Luke Shen spitting blood right up onto the ice during the last TV timeout, and he's showing a lot of courage being out there. He's cut on the right side of his mouth. Can't see it there, but pretty significant cut.
Back to the back for a shot by Streit that is sealed up by Lundqvist.
I think that's where Henriks improved so much. He's reading the play quicker. He's coming out. There were some people that thought maybe he struggled because of the size of his pads. The pads changed because of the rules from last year to this year. But right there, he just digests the play so well. He's at the top of the crease, and there's no second chance. That's a really good goaltender.
Made a tremendous stop on Olli Jokinen late in the gold medal game with Finland, preserving a victory for Sweden by a single goal. And a guy named Lidstrom got the winning goal.
Zachary Koivu broke the stick off the face-off, and that led to that to start the third period.
This one poked on ahead by Dominic Moore. Rifled on now off the backhand stick of LeCavalier. Here's Couturier trying to throw one in front, and that wouldn't go. Ryan Boyle turning there. That performance was the gold medal win for Lundqvist and Team Sweden in 06 in Torino.
Former Flyer goalie Antero Niittymaki was a goalie for the Finns, Doc.
He was fine, but that was one of those odd-looking goals that was sort of strange all the way around. From the face-off and the stick break. All a part of Olympic war. Meanwhile, this is sent back over. Nash fields that one, skipped one back in. Crank back around for the setup now for Raffl, who will represent Austria. Then Voracek led one on. It is Giroux taking and throwing one off a stick that of Stahl around behind in the last 2-1. Set. That is 2 periods on the 5th floor of Madison Square Garden. The shots through 2, Rangers 28, Flyers 23, and the Rangers 4-0 after 2. Stay tuned for the Discover Card second intermission. Liam, Mike, and Keith. The Rangers offense breaking out for sure, and the Ducks are looking to stay red hot. 6 straight wins, 8 on home ice as they are facing Detroit. Kreider, the lone goal in that period. Carcillo, Nash, and Broussard in the first. 4-zip New York. Not far away from Lady Liberty. It is Madison Square Garden in New York, where it is 4-0 in favor of the Rangers. Going into the third period. Time now for our DiGiorno storyline. Pierre.
Well, for Rick Nash, lighting it up. His 11th goal of the year. Start things off for the New York Rangers. Excellent start. Henrik Lundqvist has been spectacular. 23 saves and a lot of white sweaters getting in front of him. But he's been big as a house. And how about Chris Kreider out of Boston College? 12th goal of the season. Also has an assist in this game. big-time speed story for the New York Rangers. They want to play fast, and they have so far tonight.
Chris Kreider, a former member of the Hartford Wolfpack. Ray Emery, a member at one time of the Binghamton Senators, Ottawa's farm team. The American Hockey League is having its All-Star Skills Competition Tuesday, February 11th. The All-Star Game on Wednesday, February 12th. And this year, it's very unique. It's the American Hockey League All-Stars, one team, and the other team will be Färjestad BK, one of the top professional teams in the Swedish Hockey League. Jake Allen of the Chicago Wolves, St. Louis property, will be one of the goaltenders. Travis Morin, Texas Stars, Dallas property, one of the forwards. Chad Billings, Abbotsford Heat, Calgary property, one of the defensemen. Pretty interesting concept. It will not be all-stars against each other, but that splendid team from Sweden coming into St. John's, Newfoundland for the two-day event. Centering pass out in front and a shot. Oh, remarkably it is saved by Lundqvist. Ring 10 more bells on that one off of Braden Shen, and they have a chat.
Doc, the entire Philadelphia Flyer bench elevated as soon as they saw Braden Shen, get this puck in the slot. You'll see 10. He's cruising around in the high slot. Good aggressive forecheck play. Gets it out front. And Henrik Lundqvist, as he has all night long, makes the initial save and no second chance opportunity. And you see how angry Shen is as he comes off the ice.
Led to the back now for Grossman. Lundqvist is such a nice guy. I can't imagine that Shen had anything other than to say, what a save, or something like that.
No,
maybe he was angrier than that of himself.
It wouldn't work at Sunday school, Doc.
We have experience with that tonight. The bouncer away from Pouliot at center, left behind, and then regathered by LeCavalier, and on across now from again, and that deflected up out of play by Del Zotto. So the idea is intimidate for the next time.
Again, you got to give Lundqvist a lot of credit, but you also have to give Alain Vigneault and his coaches a lot of credit. They wanted to play a fast game. We talked about it in the open, and that's exactly the way the Rangers are playing. And what's amazing, Doc, when he coached with Pat Burns, the late, great Pat Burns, Alain Vigneault became more of a defensive coach. But when things changed in Vancouver, Mike Jost went in there and says, we're not playing defensive hockey, we're playing air-it-out hockey. And Vigneault had to adjust, Doc, and he has. He really has, and I think Alain Vigneault has become one of the more creative coaches in the National Hockey League.
Well, you've talked about both coaches and what they have brought to their teams this year. Both of these franchises were once coached by Mike Keenan. He is in the KHL, and they had their All-Star game this past weekend. If you were just sort of guessing that the over might be 34 in the All-Star game, you were right. 18-16, the West lost to the East. But Mike had the right guys out there to get 16 goals. Around in front, it's a shot that is stopped by Emery and scooped ahead. Marian Hosse's brother Marcel had 2 goals of the 34 in the game.
And Marcel will be in the Olympics for Slovakia, a former first-round pick of the Montreal Canadiens.
It is going to be quite a conference of hockey excellence in Sochi. This one is lobbed on the bounce. Oh! Bounced off the post! It's thrown wide of the cage by Van de Velde. To the back now, Strider shot, and that went wide. If the Flyers remain with a 0, 18:06 from now, Henrik Lundqvist will have a chuckle about that.
Doc, when I was a kid growing up in Montreal watching the Canadiens play, J.C. Tremblay used to be a defenseman. He used to put pucks in at least once or twice a game to test goalies from a long way out, so that he could potentially get bouncers like this. That's a tough play. And Lundqvist fights it off and gets a little bit of help from the left post. Not easy. The late J.C. Tremblay did a lot of real good scouting for the Montreal Canadiens, and his #1 pick of all time, Doc, Saku Koivu.
Smart man. Around this comes, it is McGill University in Montreal, where they are credited for, in the 19th century, sawing the edges off a ball to create this maddening disc that we have played with ever since. At one time in Kingston, Ontario, in the 1850s, the puck was square. Then it became a ball, and At least the McGill students were given credit for getting this down to what it is today. Shot deflected up and out of play. Starting January 25th, watch as sport's most storied surfaces are transformed into sheets of ice, so the biggest teams in hockey settle the score outside. The Coors Light NHL Stadium Series. Ducks, Kings, Dodger Stadium, Saturday, January 25th on NBCSN. Rangers, Devils, Yankee Stadium, Sunday, January 26th on NBC. Pierre will be between the benches.
Yes.
And judging from the layout, that will be just beyond Derek Jeter territory, Mr. McGuire. It is thrown around behind. The rink is going to go from first to third base. And so the benches will be across, and you will be there. This is brought back on for a shot by Richards that is blockered away by Emery. I mean, we've chronicled where Bo Schembechler walked near the penalty boxes at Ann Arbor, and you will be on the Jeter side. And a proud man of it, Mr. McGuire.
Yes, sir.
This comes around behind near the Advil sign and is thrown back up the boards for a tip by Callahan that goes on back, and it is Coburn. Long toss ahead, slowed down a bit by Braden Shen, corralled there by McDonough. Flexed onto the back for a shot by Luke Shen, and that gong player in front, Hartnell. Meanwhile, it's played along and an intercept here, and here comes Pouliot, staggering along on his knees, and a save made by Emery. And play continues. Hagelin able to sweep it along. To the corner goes Couturier. Cross-bodied there by Brassard. Ladled on by Pouliot. Gathered in by Hartnell and brought ahead. Escaping is Couturier. Stahl did a great defensive number on him. McGinn trying to get free Connacht. Nudged on to Zuccarello. Flopped on to Pouliot to Zuccarello. Surrounded by three Flyers. He played it back in, and what have we? A stoppage of play.
At the University of Wisconsin, Ryan McDonough, one of the greatest heists of all time, coming over from Montreal. There's an example why I'll be an Olympian, strong in the slot. And then Wayne Simmons in a foot race with Benoit Pouliot. Great athleticism from Benoit Pouliot. And the left pad comes out for Ray Emery. But this game's taken on a life of its own right now, Doc. I can tell you there's still a lot of chatter between the benches. And after there was no call on the Pouliot play, the Ranger bench was really angry.
Icing the call here, and so an offensive zone face-off for Couturier to win if he can. Native of Phoenix, Arizona. Trying to win this one away from Derek Brassard. Off the jam, up, swept onto the back. Stride able to connect on to LeCavalier. Closed off there. It's Quinton. A nice dive by Stahl to poke it ahead. Zuccarello delays and plays for Brassard, who flexed it on through, as did Emery. Grossman around behind, ridden heavily to the boards, and then down to the ice. Goes Strike. Delayed call on, and the Flyers look to be getting their second power play. The delayed call they'll go to work on. They get Emery off the ice for an extra man, Giroux. And here they come. Giroux able to step ahead with it now. Able to gain the zone nicely. Giroux able to dip the shoulder behind. Fed one in front, canceled out by Del Zotto. And now the penalty call.
The Rangers have wanted to play an aggressive forecheck game all game long. And yeah, they're aggressive, but for Matt Zuccarello in the offensive zone, you got to keep your hands in. Left hand comes out right in front of the official, Greg Kimmerly, and that's an easy call for Kimmerly to make, especially after Mark Streit loses his balance.
Zuccarello to the box, Flyers to the power play, their second opportunity. So Giroux will try to win this from Brian Boyle. Flyers 0 for 1 with 6 shots. A very productive power play except for scoring. Voracek a shot deflected wide. Rebound dug out by Simmons. On the bounce, shoved off there by Girardi. Led on across. Voracek a shot and a great save made by Lundqvist again. The battle on and it's sent onto the back now. Timonen able to hand it across. Voracek another shot. It's blocked by Boyle. Voracek yet again. Timonen let it over. Giroux with it there. Inside the box is Hartnell. Timonen a shot, and that one blocked wide. Outletted on to Boyle by Hagelin. Crosses, delays, and then plays it in. 5:35 gone. Third period, 4-0 in favor of the Rangers. Voracek crisply up the wing. Drive by Hartnell. Was scorched wide. Simmons played it along, but instead it's Strawman. Away from Simmons. Could not be cleared by Dominic Moore. Settled down by Giroux, and that pass is blocked out of play accidentally, and no penalty.
And for Henrik Lundqvist, he's been spectacular tonight. And the reason why there's noise here in the building, yeah, the Rangers are doing a good job in the penalty kill, but a boatload of Flyer fans were just escorted out of the building after probably having some nice friendly words with some Ranger fans, Doc.
I see. Okay. There are several seats empty from presumably Rangers fans who have to work tomorrow and have decided, I think we've seen how this is going to turn out. We're going to head home. You can get surprised, but if you go on the balance of play that the Rangers have had, no surprises seem imminent. Meanwhile, this is carried on by Strike. Peels away in the last 38 of the Ranger penalty kill. 6:20 gone in the third period, and it's led ahead, but stiffly off of LeCavalier. Back in and Stahl there. Slowed it down, but it's controlled by the Flyers. Sent back out to Strike. Strike walking ahead, turning it back on to Braden Shen. Delays and got it back to Strike again. Then for Braden Shen, who dubbed the shot, but recovering with it now, LeCavalier. Strike fakes and hands it on across. Gets it back. One-timer! Score! A power play goal with 7 seconds left on the minor. And it is 4-1.
They've been jamming Lundqvist all night long. It was a bad penalty by Matt Zuccarello, and he knows it. But Mark Streit, the Swiss-born defenseman, loads it and hammers it. And watch, Ty McGinn's down low. Braden Shen's down low. Puck's going to move. And there's not a lot that Lundqvist can do there. He doesn't really see the puck. It's a great shot by Streit. Hard to see if it touches Shen or not, but it does touch the back of the net. Ty McGinn staying outside the blue paint, pushing off on Strawman. Nobody's marking up on Shen. He's in front of the crease. I think it just beats Lundqvist clean.
Well, the official scoring of this will tell us, and they are going to take their time on this to make sure they have it right.
And Doc, isn't it always the way, I should say easily, that a bad count in the offensive zone leads to a goal no matter what? It's unbelievable.
Especially in this league with this caliber. Sent away from the reach of Giroux. McDonough guided it along. Chopped onto the back again, and it's Timonen. Timonen across now to Braden Coburn. Twisted back in deep. Poked along by Girardi. Swept along by Giroux to Timonen. Intercept by Stepan. Regathered by Giroux. Has to get some help at center. Getting some good position was Kreider. Roughed up a bit for his trouble by Coburn. Meanwhile, taken along by Timonen and handed on to Giroux. Flyers captain able to hand it on. Backhanded in, and right after it is Raffl. Raffl played it along to Simmons. Simmons trying to pull free and forced to the front of the net. A battle for it there, and hanging on to the loose one is Lundqvist. A little bit like a hot potato, but a lot of jam up in front. There's going to be a penalty call, a hold. And I think on the Rangers again.
You got it right on, Doc. It's going to be Ryan McDonough. A power move by Wayne Simmons draws the penalty.
4-1. Rangers by 3. Short by a man when we come back.
Back to New York. The Rangers lead 4-1. Flyers have just scored on the power play. Ryan McDonough one-on-one with Wayne Simmons. He hooks on, he holds on, he rides him right to the net, and eventually he ends up there in the penalty box. Power play for Philadelphia.
Quite a flurry of activity off that faceoff. Comes on around to Giroux, able to keep it alive at the point. Backhands it along further. It hopped up in the air and will be chased down by Timonen. So Giroux out there with Voracek and Hartnell and Simmons. Simmons will be the tripod man at the front of the net if it comes to that. Meanwhile, this is spun back around and out. Simmons with 15 goals. 8 of them have come on the power play. He leads the Flyers in both categories. All right, 35 killed by the Rangers on this. Able to step in as Giroux gave it back on now to Hartnell. Hartnell lost, scooped off the short glass and out. Timonen watched there by Dominic Moore. Lays a long pass on to Voracek. Moving back up to Simmons. They gain the zone, but they lose the puck. And here comes Callahan. Dominic Moore, the trailer, heads to the front of the net. Callahan is shot. He rocketed one off the post. Picked up now by Giroux. Able to kick and control and start back out again.
It is an Olympic year, and Ryan Callahan, what you just saw there, so valuable for the Americans at the Olympics in Vancouver. It'll be the same in Sochi. Penalty killing maven.
Rochester, New York loves that bad angle shot with the right shot out of the left wing corner. Scored on a lot of tremendous goaltenders that way, including the winningest one of all time. This one cleared back down, and Hagelin goes back after that. Couturier there. It was out of range for Emery to play in the pie slice, and so it is jammed back behind and can be taken by Couturier in the last 22 of the man advantage. Starting right back ahead and escaping in, laying it back across the stripe. Followed there is pushed to the front of the net, rifled away by John Moore, and back down. Shift change, and Ryan Boyle comes off, so does Hagelin.
Boyle comes off laughing, Doc. He knew he had a breakaway. They're going to crack him off.
Not as easy as it looks sometimes, is it? Here's Stepan carried off. Vandevelde did that. Meanwhile, it's Zuccarello, but too far for Nash and down. Icing his way off. Grossman to play it there. Floated one that is corralled at center, and the handoff was not very good toward Delzato. Meanwhile, it's swept around. Girardi will try again for Delzato, but get Nash. Played up the boards, but kept alive by Vandevelde. Meanwhile, charging ahead is Stepan. And on across now for the reach by Nash. Dropped it on back for the throw behind by Zuccarello. Vinny Lecavalier has gotten an assist on the strike goal with Couturier. For Lecavalier, his 500th career assist. Congratulations to him.
What a career.
That is a lot of points. Really just on passes, let alone on goals.
And an amazing gentleman too, Doc. The stuff that he does in community, whether it be in Philadelphia or Tampa Bay or in Montreal, just a phenomenal guy.
On across now, it is brought back in by Hartnell. Hartnell protecting it there. Oh, the Cavalier shot safe. Rebound, and it bounced into Lundqvist, who is able to hang on. Scissoring his pads against both posts. He had it covered with his glove. Watch live out-of-market games with NHL Game Center Live. One subscription lets you watch on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and connected devices. Visit NHL.com/GCL. You know, we need to continue the birthdays for a second here. Rick Vasco, Jocelyn Thibault, Cam Russell, Fern LeBlanc, and Alex Pyrus, who was at the practice in Chicago last week. A whole bunch of guys with early year birthdays. Particularly important in youth hockey in Canada, was it not, Pierre? If players were more fully physically developed if they were born earlier in the year, and yet they wound up on the same teams with guys that were born in November and December who were smaller.
I know Sidney Crosby was August 7th, Doc, so I don't think it affected him that he wasn't born in January or February.
Did not, yes. No. Richards with a shot that is handled there by Emery. Richards was not to get carried away here, he was born in May, so that's still early in the year. There was one team, I think it was Boston, about 5 years ago when I first started to do this, that had nobody from October, November, and December. I don't know why, but they didn't. At any rate, totally oblivious to sanity, these players now can work in the last 8:30 of regulation time of a 4-1 lead in favor of the Rangers. Emery able to block that one away. And a shot by Pouliot driving to the net was Brassard, and it didn't work out for the Rangers that time. Simmons tries to one-hand it ahead. No luck there. Put it off a stick back in. It was Simmons' stick. And then it is floated high. And a chest bump by Grossman to play it on. Across now for Zuccarello and into the glove of Emery. Sweeps it around now for Grossman. Played it on further for the take that comes from Simmons. Connects back on to Simmons. Played back ahead for the carry-on by Couturier. Drops it back over. Nice protection there for Lecavalier. Driving around behind and holds. Looked like he wanted McGinn in front, but that didn't work out. Still battling for it, though. There's a stray piece of equipment out there. It is the helmet of Brian Boyle. This one forced back out as far as center. Boyle will not bother. It must feel very cool out there right now for him. This one tipped back in, and he will come to the bench for a change in line. Forced around behind. And to center. Crowd reacting to something. John Moore went down to the ice. Perhaps it was an exchange with Hartnell.
Jay Rosehill helped him.
Oh, Rosehill.
Here he comes again.
Peeled off to the outside. Vandevelde threw one in front and went wide. Rosehill, 37. Sees this one go well away from him. A collision now. Mazzaro's getting back up slowly. And players are starting to tumble. Fire wagon change at the Rangers bench. A little bit of chaos, but New York is used to it.
Mazzaros is shaking up right now, coming over to the Flyer bench. He went in awkwardly.
At this stage of the game, 6.5 to go, you assume that anything can happen, but at this point seems unlikely, and you just hope no one gets further injured. Ahead now comes Hagelin. Hagelin's able to peel off to the outside. Got it on to Nash. Fed one across the net now. Tried by Strawman. Turned aside by Emery. Meanwhile, it is carried back on by Vandevelde. Left behind now for Voracek, and that one's slung on goal and tipped there for the stop by Lundqvist. And it was Raffl who did that. And a chance on the change and a 2-on-1. It's Stepan across. Played right back to him, and that malfunctioned big time. Stepan again over for a shot by McDonough that blocked wide. So then strike. If nothing much changes, the coach will just shake his head and say, boys, trying to be smart. Onto the back. Grossman off of the arm of Lundqvist. Jammed on through Hartnell. Moving along is Strike. Former Islander got it back in a hard shot by Giroux. Butchered off the equipment of Lundqvist. The chant of Henry. The play back by Simmons. The return fails. Stepping to it is Strike, but instead Callahan. And then behind. McDonough banged it off. Grossman kept it off the short glass. Chopped on, and Grossman with another keep. And then Lundqvist. Left it there for Girardi. And flailed on out to center where Mazzaros is fresh from the bench to play it, so that's a good sign. Steps on and lobs it back in with under 5 minutes to go. Girardi guided it behind. McDonough turns there. Braden Shannon his way. Then Girardi once more. Laid it ahead for Brassard. 3-on-3. The Flyers with people back. Boyle played it in and was run into by Luke Schenn. Mazzaros able to put on the brakes there. Guided back on for Luke Schenn. Game number 400, eventful for him. Laid back on now for the carry on by LeCavalier, and a shot that went off Delzato. Careened on over to Zuccarello with a nice turn and take off the boards and right back ahead. Touchdown now to Delzato. Delzato had the play broken up. Fed on to Braden Shen. Walks it up the wing hoping for LeCavalier, who does arrive first. LeCavalier, big man trying to hold it on the boards. Worked on there by John Moore. Peeled off there and guided on around to the back to Timonen. Timonen steps ahead. Rockets one, deflected into Lundqvist. And the puck wound up underneath him. And play is stopped. 3:52 to go. Third period of play. Rangers in the lead by 3. Tonight is Rivalry Night on NBCSN. Don't miss the next chapter in the storied rivalry between Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby. Wednesday night rivalry, Caps Pens coverage begins 6:30 Eastern on NBCSN.
Braden Shen and Matt Zuccarello getting after one another in the neutral zone. And then during the TV timeout, Zuccarello and Shen were having nice parting words back. By the way, Paul Maurice, congratulations, just hired as a new coach in Winnipeg. Matt Zuccarello played 44 games for him last year in Magnitogorsk in Russia, where he had 11 goals and 28 points. So good on Paul Maurice getting another step at coaching in the NHL.
Very successful with Carolina in a year that they impressed greatly and got to the final before losing to the Detroit Red Wings. That in 2002.
Bobby Bowman's last game as an NHL head coach.
Indeed. Kevin Weeks was one of 2 goaltenders that the Hurricanes used that year. Very impressive in eliminating other teams along the way, including New Jersey. And then, of course, 4 years later, they went to the final and won it. Peter Laviolette is their coach, and a championship in Raleigh.
Great captain and Rod Brind'Amour. That was a phenomenal run to the final for Brind'Amour and Eric Stahl and Brett Hedican. Cam Ward, what a run for Carolina.
Oh, wiping out is John Moore. Seems okay, and a beat out front. A great stop made by Lundqvist on Braden Shen. There is always something for coaches to focus on, and perhaps Elaine Vigneault, with somewhat of a smile from the apparent victory, will look at some of the chances that Lundqvist has had to foil at times that the Flyers might have been knocking on the door to get back in this game. Luke Schenn brings this one ahead, gains the zone, plays it on a cross. Braden Shen gave it back to his brother for a shot that's knocked down and blocked off by Lundqvist. Another try, and what an artful save on Braden Shen. Another shot by Mazzaros that hit someone in front.
This is bad news for the rest of the Eastern Conference, but great news for the Rangers. Henrik Lundqvist is back.
Salutes him with his name chant. Gloved along in the defensive zone, so it's okay from Luke Schenn on out to time again. Played along behind by Coburn. Guided back across again. Fired back in, and so it is McDonough filtering it along to Girardi. Then on up it comes to Callahan and skied back out. It will be a Washington Rangers tie for second place in the Metropolitan Division. On a technicality, having played fewer games, Washington will have that spot. If the season were to end that way, Washington would host the Rangers in a best-of-7 first round. Much hockey to be played between now and then. To the final minutes. For a team that did not have much strength at home, the Rangers have been fine. 8 wins, counting this one, in their last 11 overall. Jammed at toward the side of the net. And this team will not board an airplane but twice in the next 2 months. Many of their games are local in terms of bus travel or in Madison Square Garden.
6 of their next 7 are right here.
They go to Ottawa Saturday, to Pittsburgh February 7th, and nothing until March the 7th. Now keep in mind, about 2.5 weeks of an Olympic break in there. But how are they going to build up their miles? Off the tie-up now, it's nudged ahead for the carry back on and the pass at center that's given up for Schenn to connect back across. 28 to go. And that one hit off the pane of glass that is in the bench area and ricocheted back out, so play again is stopped. Since Thanksgiving, the best teams in the league have been Anaheim, Pittsburgh, and St. Louis. Those with the poorer records have been Winnipeg, Buffalo, Toronto, and Calgary. And Winnipeg made a coaching change that Pierre alluded to just a moment ago. The Ducks with 34 points since American Thanksgiving. My goodness, they have been so strong, particularly at home, but pretty much everywhere else too. To the last 10, and we have a bit of shoving, and now everybody's wading in across the way, trying to get at Carcillo. Luke Schenn, who fought him earlier, is most persistent. And then Boyle and Simmons. John Moore is shoving across the way and starting with the right. Changes hands. Braden Shen and John Moore exchanging punches. The Noogies on the back of Moore from Shen. And then roundhouse uppercut and rights, and then Schenn with one last right, and that takes care of that. Second time tonight, fourth time in 2 games this year that there have been coincidental majors, Flyers and Rangers. 1,000th time, perhaps, in history.
Well, it's been a recurring theme all game long and all night long.
It was Hartnell first, and then Schenn stepped in.
Just adds to rivalry night, Doc.
Well, it does, and you were sharing with one of the linesmen that this was going to happen an hour and a half ago.
Yep.
It happened late. Boyle and Simmons, 2 big, strong guys, and both trying to get the advantage on one another. And there are other games scheduled between these 2 teams this year. And out of the silence, you hearken back to early years in the minors when you would say, circle the date on the calendar, because the New York Rangers and Philadelphia Flyers are going to play again on March the 1st. But there's so much hockey between now and then, including some in the Olympics, where you won't see that much of this. Though Eddie Olczyk and Dave Tippett were reminiscing about a 1984 Sarajevo match between the U.S. and Canada, where there actually were fights in the warm-up. That's because they played 20 exhibition games and had just had enough of each other.
Philadelphia, number 10, Brayden Schenn, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 17, Wayne Simmons, a 10-minute misconduct. Number 22, Luke Schenn, 2 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. For the Rangers, number 17, John Moore, 5 minutes for fighting. Number 13, Daniel Carcillo, a 10-minute misconduct. And number 22, Brian Boyle, a 10-minute misconduct. Time of the penalties, 1949.
Joe Tollison, the public address announcer, getting some special time here because he had a lot of information to give out to us. Helpful enough. 8 to go. Henrik Lundqvist gave up only 1. His team got 4. Points 50 and 51. A tie between the Rangers and Washington for second in the Metropolitan, as the music plays the Rangers victory song. Final score of the game, Rangers 4 and the Flyers 1. Let's send it to Liam McHugh in our studio for NHL Overtime. It is presented by Bud Light.